Number 2. Villains. So far in the series, there have been some fantastic villains, not all of them with superpowers. The creativity with the writers here is just fantastic, and I really have to hand it to them. The imagination in the surrealism alone is really quite phenomenal. Anything from mind control to controlling tattoos to even controlling milk. It's all been a fantastic experience watching the show. That is until Season 3. Don't get me wrong, there have been one or two occasional good powers like time stopping. However, all the ones that have been good have just been flawed, and I'll get to that in a moment. The others have just been pretty average and pretty low-key and very poor compared to the past two series, which is a real shame. Okay, so let's start with this chick, the girl that can stop time. Her power is completely flawed, because as we all know in Misfits so far, the way the power thing works is it's all to do with your character and your character's experiences. The theory behind this girl is that she got into an incident with her boyfriend and she got caught instead of him and she got all the blame and ended up in community service. Now that's fair enough with the whole time thing, and that kind of fits. What doesn't fit is everything else behind it, because as we all know from the series, the storm has been, what, 6 months or something crazy? It's been a long time since the storm. So why is it only up until now that her powers turned up? Because how does it make sense? Why does she have her power now, if that incident only just happened now, like recently? And then there's the other perspective, which is, okay, if it happened around the time of the storm, which it obviously didn't, which would make sense for having that power, then she surely would be with the rest of the original cast, but she wasn't, so it's kind of a big flaw. In episode 5, we have a similar situation with the Coma Girl, with the ability to body swap. Now, how in the hell did she get this ability? This is another big flaw, because back to what I was saying earlier with the whole Misfits thing, you know, depending on the situation, you get your power, then it just does not make sense, because in order for her to have this ability, she needs to be in a coma. But how could she have got the ability from the storm if she's inside a hospital in a coma? You might ask, okay, she was outside before she got the coma, but no, because that's the whole point, she has the ability because she's stuck in a coma. So yeah, that's another stupid flaw that we aren't expected to see. Zombies as a villain, as well as Seth's girlfriend brought back, combination is, I guess, quite a good idea, but it doesn't help bringing up the question of the whole ability in the first place. Like, the guy that it came from when Seth first got it off the guy that was kidnapped and put in the boot of the car, yeah, the guy that had it in the first place, you can't help but think, if it's been a few months since the storm, how come there already isn't a zombie epidemic going on? Or, you know, something like that. Not to mention the cat just wasn't explained. That just sort of was assumed they killed it, but it's kind of hard to catch a cat, especially when you don't know where it is. It could have made at least a reference, you know, because it's a cat, it's probably going to infect a whole lot of shit. The whole ghost idea for the finale of the series I honestly thought was a really good idea, especially bringing back some of the bad guys from the first series. My only two problems with the whole villain idea of the ghosts was, one, it didn't really make sense that the ghosts could touch stuff, but I guess some ghosts can. Second of all, I would have liked to have seen more ghosts. There's been some amazing characters, as I said already, in the past two series, and it would have been great to see them again. Both good characters and bad characters, it really would have made a difference. Number 3. The episodes. The first thing I got from the first 5 minutes of episode 1 was that I really missed the original cast. Not having Nathan in the series anymore really is a massive change on the whole viewing situation for the audience. It completely turns it around, because he is the main focus point, but now he's gone, it's like the team's got no leader. Seeing him in the Las Vegas episode was great. That was probably one of the better episodes of the series, even though it was only a short one. But it just made me realise that he's not going to come back. Speaking of Vegas, the whole Vegas photo with Alicia and Simon wasn't gone into anywhere near enough as it should have done. It was made out to be such a big thing in Season 2, and yet it just wasn't even mentioned. The writers have said in the recent Q&A on E4 that it was actually mentioned in episode 1, but I checked and I just couldn't find it. And it was really disappointing not to have it brought up, as it seemed to be such an important thing for Alicia and Simon's relationship. Another thing that got to me, quite frankly pissed me off, was the way that the main characters got back into community service. I just thought this was just really stupid, could have been done better, unrealistic, unbelievable, and was just far too convenient for the writers or something. Thought it was just very lazy, if anything. Not to mention the new abilities compared to the old ones, to be honest, are really craptacular. Compared to the old ones that were pretty damn awesome, you've got Lust becoming seeing through other people's eyes, you've got Invisibility going into predictions, but only short-term predictions it seems. You've got Turning Back Time that's become changing genders. And you've got mind reading becoming rocket science knowledge, but the thing is with that was flawed too, because that's not super intelligence like it was first implied, it's just being able to build rockets or rocket plans or designs or whatever, because it clearly hasn't affected her general intelligence. She's still the same old annoying character. She doesn't even know what brunch is, for God's sake. The very fact that characters have gone back to doing community service really annoyed me in particular, because the whole series has to move forward. In fact, every series that I know of has had some kind of movement where the characters have developed and the storylines develop and change along the way and they move towards something. I really thought that the whole community service thing was going to be just the beginning and the characters were going to get out of there, go into the real world, get jobs like Curtis working at the bar and other characters doing other jobs, etc. And they were really going to, still be together as friends and still face problems and enemies as they go. To be honest, the best thing I liked about episode 1 and all the stuff it supposedly had to offer was actually this chick and her amazing ass. In episode 2, I just couldn't help thinking, but this was just a great big opportunity to lay into Curtis's character big time. Why, you might ask? I haven't a clue. Even though the storyline was based around Curtis's second chance at running, I was just too distracted by every 5 minutes it seemed they were having a go at Curtis's character and completely changing his whole persona and sex life compared to the past 2 series, because as we all know has been pretty damn good with certain characters, need I say them. Episode 3 was probably the best one in my opinion, because I really thought the power was really cool. The whole idea of drawing things that would actually end up coming true I thought was really incredibly creative. And the whole chemistry between Peter and Simon I thought was a really good relationship starting out. And the whole power itself I thought was going to be a really good opportunity for the audience to see things that the other characters couldn't. But I just felt this power was wasted before it even began because he just died off too quickly. Not to mention the whole build up towards future Simon's character as well. I thought this would be a really good opportunity for it to really develop a lot more, but I just felt it was a bit weak.